So, hi everybody and welcome back. This is Unreal Engine 5 tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video number 20 and we go on with the overview. We will go in this video with the landscape tool, but before that, let's clean our folder structure because this one is all time important. The first thing what we are going to do is we have here a maps folder in the starter content, but we also created our own maps folder. We just take all the map data here, select them, shift, also you select one, then shift the last one, then all are selected, and then you drag and drop them to your maps folder and you select move here, and then this folder is empty. Nice. HDR, we have no HDR file. We just take and drop it on top in this one because then it creates automatically the file here, and I say again move here. Okay, this one is then finished too. And then we have the blueprints. We have already a blueprints folder. So what we are going to do is we select all these blueprints here again. The first one, then shift the last one, and then all are selected, and drag and drop them to our blueprints and move here. So there are some assets. Actually, I don't know what this is, but let's do this just because let's just drop this to our blueprints here, move here. The reason why I'm doing this is normally I would not do this. Normally I would look what we have here. We have here material. So, and what we have here? We have here static meshes. And what we have here? Color curve. Normally you would do this one to materials, then the static meshes to static mesh, but they belong to this one, so let's keep this here, and so on. Okay, well, this is just a job for later when you start learning, but for the overview you should only know that this one you can keep, but it's better to keep them in materials and in static mesh, or you keep them in groups where it belongs to all together in a special folder. This is the next step what all you do normally, and what I do normally too, but let's forget this one now and go on here. So these are all empty, which means we can delete, but we have again to do go to content, right click, fix up redirection in folder, and now we can delete this full starter content here, and I click on it, right click on it, and delete, and finished. So now we have only our folder here. This is the folder which we created, which we should know. So, and oops, sorry. And now we continue. And what we are going to do is what I said. And when you were wondering what map I have opened here on top, I show you that fast too. When you go on maps, this comes with the starter maps. This is one of the starter maps. For example, if you click here on starter map, this one, then you see this map here. This is just a materials demonstration maps and some effects too. For example, we have here the special effects, materials on bolts. There, here we have here brick, and again brick. Here we have something iron, and here something like this and this, and here something like a tree color, and so, and here gold, silver, and we have here grass. So you can see it's just material demonstration, and what you see here on top is just when you press start. Let me press start here, and then it drops down, also a drop down, and of course you can here watch it and show how they realize that all things here. The next map what we have here, there was a minimal default web. I double click on it and you can see a minimal default web map is, again, we have just the sky, and then we have 2 floors, couch, a table, and this one. And when I press here play, you can see this is our minimal default map. We have even sound here, but we have no interaction. Okay, and then we have here advanced lighting. When I click on it, and you can see here something. In the last video we talked about HDRI backdrop. In this case they used a similar thing. You can see here this, let me show you, our HDRI image file is actually here, and it looks even better than what I showed you because they have made it better. And later when you make other things good too, then it looks like this. And you can see now you can build here in front of what I said, your real environment, and later in the background there you have, for example, something like a building here, a car, or whatever. Okay, and let's go to the last map, which is our map. This is the map which we created. I double click it and we have our boring map compared to this other one. So instead of a boring map, we are going to make a better map. And to do this one, we are using another mode. But before we go to this mode, we delete all what we don't need. We don't need the floor. We don't need our brush. And we don't need our static mesh, and also not our blueprint. So we have only our lightning here. That's okay, here on the right side. And now I switch the mode. I talked about there are different kind of mode, and you need here different tutorials. But for example, this landscape where we go now, we click on it, you will need, let's click this one away because we don't work on the file structure here anymore, so we can just click it away. And here we are creating a map. This one looks very strange. Why? I'm not sure about this one. Why it looks so strange? I have no clue. Normally it should not look like this. Okay, I have no clue. Anyway, we still can explain what we are going to do. So the next thing is, what we are going to do is, we are here in the landscape mode, which means we are creating a landscape, which means not a floor like before. It is a special name and a special behavior, because this one is a landscape. And let's create one. But before we create here some options, we are here on top on manage, because this is the place where we are creating things. Then we have a sculpt. This is later the place where we editing our created landscape. For example, we want to make a hill or something like that. And then we have a paint, which means you can color your landscape. For example, you say the ground, I want to make it brown and create a street, or gray, and then you say I want to make a very big mountain, on top I want snow, white, or so on. You know what I mean. So the first thing, we go to manage, and then we go down. Then we have here two options: create new, import file, import from file. We don't import it. You import only if you have already created a landscape and you want just import it. No, we are creating our own, and we can select here, pre-select a material. We don't make this right now because I show you how to add a material here. But of course, if you are lazy or if you already know which material you want, for example, we can just go with this grass material, then we can select it right away instead of waiting. So then we go here to the layers. We have here the location. This should be 0. I don't know why they make it all time 100, because I don't like it. They have it all time 100 over the 0 point. I make it 0, and they have a scale of 100, which is also very big. Let's get the scale here down to 1. What? That is, yeah, that is the scale which I really want right now. And let's change this one here. You can, this one is normally changing our size. For example, normally I would go here. Let's go for this one. And because this is, but I changed here the scale. That's why it's not working anymore like it should. Let's go for 7. And scale it not 100. It's just too big. Let's make it at least 10, 10, 10. This one is probably too little. Okay, let's go for 100. Let's keep this default value. Whatever. So we have then here this scale now. And the next thing is section. If you make here section the second one, it will double this one. But then you can make a different number per, yeah, it says here per component. I'm not sure what this is because I never used it, but you have, we keep this one on section 1 first. Later when you go in material, landscape material, then you have to watch this first till you create it. So, and if you have this one, don't make fill world, because fill world means just stretch as far as possible what you have preset here, and that would make here a really big world. So don't make this one. And then we click on create, and now our world is created without material because we have not selected this material on top. So this takes a while again, and what we can do till this time, it takes not that much normally, but okay. And the next thing is, let me see what is important here. So actually there is not much important. The only thing what we are going to do is the next thing. Oh, wait a second, I could explain you these other things here too. So after we created this one, you can see it on manage new, and there are some other options too. For example, you want give this world not this square shape. You can then delete some parts of it and give it a very strange shape, for example. Or you can go here to this one later and which says add here some parts, and it will all time add, like you can see here, this little square. It will add then one of the square or delete one of the square, and I will show you that in a moment when this one is finished. And then here, let's go on what I mean. So let's go here a little bit. We don't need that one. So now right now we have a problem. You can see they change from manage to sculpt, and we have here something like a big circle which is called a brush or whatever, and then it is selected the first one, the sculpt, and when I click on it, it would make something. But I don't click it in right now because I want to change the size. This is much too big. There are different ways to change the size, but the only thing what I know is now just go to we have here brush size. Yeah, here the brush size in the brush settings, and this one is much too big. Make it small. Here you can make it small with the mouse. You click on it and then drag and drop. This is the way with what I do, or you know exactly the number, then you type it in. I don't know the exact number now. I make it like I feel it. And then this brush fall off is the side parts of this brush. You can see there are 2 circles, and the outer circle is the fall off. So it looks a little bit better, depends on the thing. And then, okay, I will not go too much here in detail, and so that you are going to do when you are creating the world with a good tutorial. But what I want to do is, what you can see right now, we have a problem. I have not selected a material like before. I go back to manage, and not really, we can stay. but we have no material, we have a problem. So what are we going to do and how we can change this one? First of all, we have go and change the mode here to do so. So I have go back to select mode, and you can see this is the mode which we are used to. Then I select this landscape here on the right side. Now I make this a little bit bigger again. Okay, now landscape in details panel, and then we go down to landscape material, and here, careful, it says landscape material, so you can see there are materials which is not made for landscape perhaps, and in our case we can use all, and in my case I just use this, let's say ground moss. So now I have made this, and this takes a little while because it has to compile and add this here. Depends on the size. This was not so big, but if you have a very big one, this can take much more size, much more time. And now we have applied a material, but now I want not have only a material here. Let's say when I play here, I fall. If you want not fall all time like me, you can do one more thing before we continue, which is add a player start. To do so, you go here on the plus sign, then you need to find this player start. And the good thing is, oh no, this one I have made already. So let me find you the player start. In basics, you go here in basics, and then you go down to player start, and then you click on it. And then you have here on the right side the player start, but you have here a problem. It is a little not on the ground, so you can pull it up a little bit, but there is still a problem. You want to align it, for example, exactly on the ground. There is a trick. You do it a little bit high, press the End key on your keyboard, and it snaps on the ground. And when you start now the game, it will exactly start from this point where it is, where you put this player start. That said, let's continue. What the problem was with our landscape when I started. Okay, I created a very plain, but this looks not really cool, right? Or we have to build a lot, and I show you how you can make a very simple, fast landscape even without designer skills like me. I am a very bad designer. Okay, to do so, we click again here. We are here in the selected mode. We go up on landscape mode again. Now we have all the landscape options for our landscape here. The first thing is we go, I show you this manage things here. Yes, I set in manage, you can, for example, select, but I don't want select right now something. I want add or delete something. Let's say I want make a very strange looking shape here. Instead of a square shape, I make a very strange looking shape. Then I go to this delete thing, and you can see I can only delete squares. This is bad, but perhaps there are other ways. But in our case, for example, spline, and so I have watched this not myself, but when you do later a landscape tool, make it. So I want only show you something to change this landscape a little bit, the shape, so it looks like not a square anymore, like a strange looking, I don't know, strange looking thing. So now when I start, now it looks a little bit different, but still not like a real landscape. When I play start here, it looks, yeah, not really like a landscape, right? But we are not finished now. We go to Sculpt now, and Sculpt means I want to edit this landscape a little bit. And to do so, we can, for example, use the first tool. I show not all, because this one you have really watch a tutorial. And now I build hills, for example. I say, okay, I start here. I want that my character is moving this way, and here I want all hills, right? So for example, I say I want that here are hills, something like so. And then I just make this one and say here is a path. So what I'm going to do is actually just make places. Oh, that takes too long. Here is a problem. I take a long time to make this, and the reason for this is you can change the strength and tool strength, and if it's too low then it takes much. If it's too strong then you must be careful, because then you can't have very then it jumps very fast up. For example, I change my strength here much more, and now look this. Okay, it goes much faster up, and you see this one looks much better than before, and I built my hills here. So, and when I press now start, yes, we have now something like a more or less a landscape. And here we have a problem. Right now you can see a very strange moving landscape. When I move, the landscape is moving, and this is a problem. I don't know why they make this, because this is the LOD setup. This was a very big problem back in my time, because I don't like that. This is this pop system, this LOD system, and to get rid of this one, you go to select mode again, then you go select your landscape, then you go here, or better, right here in the search bar, LOD, I think. And then let's move this a little bit up. And there should be max LOD level if you find this one here. And set this one to 0. And this one should be do the trick. And what does it do? I mean, now you can see this landscape is no moving around anymore. That was our problem. And yeah, that's a very big problem was there. And then we go back to our landscape mode. Now I press start again. You can see the landscape is not moving again. That's good. But we have here one more problem. You see the edges are not very smooth. Then what we are going to do is we switch, for example, to the smooth tool. The bad thing is now we have a very strong strength. You should not make a very strong strength for smooth. You make it a little bit very low, because this will decrease now the height and try to smooth it, and you can see it still too strong, I think. And then when you make this one here, and this is the job of a designer now to make it perfect, but for our purposes, for fast demonstration, it's okay. I make here a very easy thing, and I press now, yeah, it's a little bit more smooth, but of course you can go here a little bit. As a designer, you can make here really good things if you have the skill, not like me here. Yeah, let's move it a little bit here too. Yeah, so it looks a little bit better. But you can see what I'm going to do is I have here now a landscape. I have more or less a path I have to run here through, and then you can build here houses and so on and so on. I think that's enough. And all the other things for landscape I skip here, because this takes a lot of time and you need a proper video where they explain you all the things with designing tool here and so on. And in the next video, but we save this. From now on we are going to use that. And this map, this one I want to use, so file, save, save this. Now we have that one. Then in the next video we are I think I'm not going for this one, because what you see now here, all the other modis here, they are all related to landscape. For example, this foliage model modi here, there foliage means most time you add to your landscape plants or something like that, or you add trees, or you add anything like that. And then the next mode, paint, then you can paint the textures of your landscape and so on. And then modeling is another thing. Perhaps this one we can try. This one we can try it actually. And this other two, I don't know myself actually. Brush editing, so this we skip. And then animation we can watch. Animations are special place, not here. We have to discuss this, so perhaps we can go in the next video with modeling. And yeah, we stop here. So see you in the next video. Bye.